Welcome to another episode of Cecilia's Spot. Today we're going to be talking about your sewing machine. If you're new to sewing, I suggest this Brother XL machine. It has a lot of different settings for you, and it also works very well for beginners and even more advanced as well. And I purchased mine on Amazon, but of course you can get it at any sewing store as well. So after you've put together your machine, this is what it'll look like. And then in the side here you have your connections for the power plug and also for the foot pedal to control the speed of the thread and the needle. And then there you can see here's the needle and the presser foot. So this is the needle and the presser foot is here. There's a little lever over here. You push down and it goes down and up. And then this is where you're gonna put your little spool of thread. It's your bobbin, they call it. And you can see this even has this little extra case here that holds some supplies. It has extra needles, some bobbins. It has a special attachment for putting buttons on and all kinds of good stuff, which we can get into another episode. Alright, so this just slides back on. And you'll see, you know, this is important. Sometimes we take this off for different types of sewing projects. And this one is nice because it's labeled very easily to read. And a couple other quick tips. You may have a display screen that's electronic. You may have one like I do where it's just written on here. But the most common uses that I find that I use is the number 2. That's just the regular stitch here. And the number 3, which is the zigzag, which is good to do on a lot of times on the hems, you know, on the ends, and it actually will keep it from fraying, and we'll do that in another episode, okay? And then you have a couple other knobs here. So the main ones, the important ones, is this one on the Brother machine. They're all, you know, a little different, like I said, but this is for the Brother machine. So it's set here on 2, and you can see there's a 14 below it, but we're doing the 2, which is the regular stitch here, the simple stitch. And then the back here is how big, how wide you want it. So how far apart you want the stitch. And we'll talk about that in another episode. Usually you want it tighter for a regular stitching. I usually do around like a 2, sometimes a little lower. Now you'll be up to a 4 when you want to do a special type of stitch to kind of gather your fabric, which we'll talk about, like I said, in another episode. And then you have a couple up here, you know, this is the tension of the thread that's coming down. So I usually leave that in the middle. And this one, you can see how big you would like your stitch. So I do it almost in the middle as well for that one. Okay, and then the other important knob over here is this one. And this is a reverse knob. So well, it's actually like a button that you press down. So when you're sewing and you want to do a reverse stitch, which a lot of times you will start sewing a little bit and then you want to hit the presser foot and hit this, hold this at the same time, and it reverses, and then you go forward again, and that will actually kind of form a knot so that it stays and the stitch isn't going to come out. And we'll talk about that, but that's the way how to start and to end your most stitches, okay? So that's it. That's the Brother machine, and I know in the beginning it can be a little bit overwhelming, but you know, it gets fun and it's easier every time. So just keep following us at ceciliaspot.com where creativity and fun collide for some more neat videos. And if you need to see how to thread the bobbin, we talked about that in the last episode, so you can go back to the other one. All right, have fun.